The inner child is every version of you from birth to yesterday.
Hi, welcome to the Change Makers podcast. I am so excited about our guest today, Robin Seeger. Robin, great to have you here,
Thank
man.
you so much, Dave.
Great to have you here.
Pleasure to be here.
Robin is an inner true activator, enabling men and women that work with him to take control of their life while helping them to unlock their path. Robin is passionate about mentoring his clients in life, relationships, parenting, and business, facilitating empowerment and parenting workshops, men's and mixed circle, and online courses. Since 2018, Robin and his family have been calling Bali, Indonesia, their home. Robin, oh wow! So now Robin and we are in Bali, in one could say God's island. That's what they call Bali. What do you think of that?
It is. It is. It's a beautiful space, and why it's so beautiful is because it has so many different elements that all come together, and I think that's why we call it home. You have the nature, you have the rainforests, you have the oceans, the volcanoes, so many different beautiful energies that all come together that allow us to dive deeper in who we really are.
I think what I really love about the island as well is that it amplifies everything, like your thoughts, your intention. Like personal examples, like I want to attract a woman that is, one could say, a writer like me, and then a few weeks, not a month, like just few weeks, and then I attracted this beautiful woman who's a writer, but at that time I was really clear with that mental picture of who of the person that I want to attract. So yeah, that's another thing that I love about this island. It's amplified what's going on in your mind.
You wake up, there's something that's on your mind, there's something you want.
Yeah,
You can bring it in, but it doesn't need Bali to do that. It's really something that needs to be understood, that we're all capable, we're all powerful beings. But it comes down to a mindset of intention.
Mindset of intention.
And really being very clear. Like you said, you were very clear, very focused about what you wanted. There is so much distraction out there in the world that often that clear intention is lost. And so here, I think the beautiful part is that a lot of people are trying to find themselves, which creates kind of like an environment of that intention setting. And so you can find people easily that hold you accountable, that support you on that path.
Amazing. Find people that you can hold you accountable and can support you in that path. Powerful. Now, my first questions, as usual. What's your favorite quote and why?
I'm going to read it because I want to make sure I'm not butchering it. It's the possibility of having a dream come true that makes life interesting. And that's by Paulo Coelho, out of The Alchemist. The reason I like that quote so much is because I created my own quote, my own affirmation that I use on a daily basis out of it. And mine is, what else is possible? So I truly believe that limiting beliefs are within us from the day we're born. Don't do that. You can't do that. You're not good enough for this. You will never achieve this. Settle for mediocre. Happens in school, happens with parents, happens with friends, happens in sports. No matter what you do, there's always kind of that undertone of, this is it. This is all you can achieve. And so when you go into the quote where it says, if you have a dream, it can come true, then that's already great. But then when the dream comes true, that means you can actually visualize what that dream is. But what if there's something more that you don't even dream about yet? What if there's possibilities? Like if I look at my whole life, I would have never been able to dream that because it was so beyond what I kind of knew. I never thought I'm going to live in Bali and have a life of passion where I really do what I love doing. That was not a dream when I was 6 years old. That wasn't a dream when I was 18 years old. It wasn't a dream when I was 30 years old. So once I switched into what else is possible and really opening up to possibilities, things happen that I couldn't dream. So I still have my dreams and all that. But when I see them coming true, I go, what else is there? Show me, surprise me. And things open up I could have never thought of.
Amazing. So you helping many people around overcome, one could say, their limiting beliefs, right? My question is around this idea of limiting beliefs. Like, how long does it take to change a limiting belief?
Anywhere from 1 second to 40 years.
Wow, this is interesting.
It's up to you.
Mm-hmm.
So first of all, imagine you're told you're not good enough all your life, right? So you grow up, you're not good enough to make the sports team. You're not good enough to get an A in school. You're not good enough to get any high grades. You're not good enough to graduate. You're not good enough, whatever. It's literally what is people being told through their whole life.
Mm-hmm.
Now, once the awareness, that's step one, is there, that somebody sees that pattern and going, well, hold on, who's telling me I'm not good enough? What is the label of being good enough? Like, what is the benchmark for it? Who tells you that because you don't have an A, you're not good enough? What is if a B is actually good enough? The only one who can tell you if you're good enough or not is yourself. So it's really that question of understanding if something has been implemented into your system over and over and over and over again, you don't only start believing it, you actually start feeling it. Every cell in your body will have that memory, just like muscle memory. So when something triggers you, in your whole body, you will feel it. If somebody tells you you're not good enough again and you truly believe it, your whole body will believe it. So how long does it take to shift it? 1 second. You're going to unthink the thought of that you're not good enough. Because every thought once unthought or rethought can be changed. Otherwise, it's still there. So if you're saying, hold on, I am good enough. Fine, that shifted it. Doesn't mean that your memories in your cells and your body are still there. So a trigger comes, your body reacts, your thoughts come back, now it's up to you. You catch it, and you're like, oh, hold on, I know this is my old ways of thinking. I'm thinking differently now, and you rewrite the story. Or you can fall back into the old trap. You can fall back down that rabbit hole where you're like, oh, I'm not good enough after all. I will never. Things like I will never, I always, like these are all words that are literally spells that are putting you down to not achieve something.
Powerful, powerful. Now, limiting beliefs has a lot to do with, one could say, inner child, or you also help people to activate in terms of their inner child, to heal the inner child. My question is like, what is the inner child and how do I connect to it?
The inner child is every version of you from birth to yesterday, to 5 minutes ago. It's all the inner child. But mostly people talk about your childhood. So there's a little boy inside of us that is still, for us, little girl, for women, same thing, that is still kind of holding on to certain conditionings and to certain experiences in their life. Trying to think of a good example for that. So, for example, money mindset, right? That's something that a lot of people are struggling with. I was told at a very young age that money is very hard to come by. Money
Mhm.
doesn't grow on trees. You need to work hard to receive money. You need to hold on to money because it could be devalued, it could be taken away by governments and all these kind of things. It's a lot of post-war trauma that my grandparents dealt with and then my parents kind of inherited, and subsequently I did.
Mhm.
The point is, I didn't know that I had the mindset. My
Mhm.
mindset that I told myself was limitless,
Mhm.
but something always held me back. And so one day I sat down and basically connecting with it is as simple as finding a quiet spot, sitting down and asking yourself questions.
Mhm.
You actually get answers if you
Mhm.
listen. Can be cultivated, can be trained like a muscle,
Mhm.
but at the end of the day, there's a voice inside that will tell us. And so that's how it came to me. It's like, well, don't you remember? Money is hard to come by.
Mhm.
You need to work hard. So I needed to reprogram that into, I need to work smart, which for me is I can have fun. I
Mhm.
can do what I'm really passionate about. That doesn't mean I don't work, 10, 12-hour days sometimes, but I'm having fun. It doesn't feel like work. So that's a different thing. Once that shifted, I attracted a completely different set of clientele, people I work with, all that kind of thing. Because at the end of the day, I'm blocking myself, just like everybody else. Limiting beliefs are constant.
Mhm.
The biggest part is there is no right or wrong answer.
Mhm.
So it's not just the inner child, it's intuition, it's whatever you want to call it. It's just an inner knowing. Like we come in, and for me, the biggest learning came from my children.
Mhm.
My children were born, they came in with childlike curiosity. They came in with wonder, with no fears. Like they were born, I don't want to say pure, but there was no outside influences.
Mhm.
Like me, I'm 50 years old. There's 50 years of conditioning inside of me.
Mhm.
And so when they showed me that it's so easy um, to be curious, to be adventurous, to take risks, to just go for certain things. And when I asked them, it's like, how do you know? It's like, well, I just know. I just know it's fine.
Mhm.
And if it's not, I learned something.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I realized that this is what I needed to cultivate. I needed to find ways to connect to that child inside of me again.
Mhm.
And so once I found that, literally just with guided meditations, that was my first step into it.
Mhm.
Somebody telling a story, listening to the story, following that path, and then it just comes automatically. And then it's just not trying too hard is really the biggest thing. It's like doing it every day, sitting down, checking in, going, hey, how are you? Just ask yourself, how are you today?
Mhm.
Are you going to tell yourself, oh, I'm good? Because that's the common answer to anything. If
Anything.
anybody says, how are you?
I'm good. Yeah.
Or are you going to go, I'm not good today. I need a hug. I need attention. I need a break.
Yeah.
I need exercise. I need fun. I need adventure. I need whatever. That it's going to come automatically.
Mhm.
But it's like training it. How are you? What do you need from me today? Just talking to yourself,
Yourself. Yeah.
and allowing, stepping away from this, I need to do because I'm a man.
Mhm.
Or, I mean, also a lot of women that are very much in the masculine right now. It's like, I need to, I need to, I need to. Rather than going back to this kind of intuitive knowing of, yeah, what I need to do is have a break today.
Yeah.
And it's okay.
Yeah.
And I'm going to be way more productive tomorrow.
Yeah. Yeah.
I need to play today. I need to have fun
Yeah.
because I need balance in my life.
Yeah.
So listening in more on a daily basis and then actually not questioning it.
Mhm.
No matter what the answer is, just listen, acknowledge it, because with that voice is strengthened.
Yeah. I know you're a big believer in the power of listening, right? to oneself and also to the others. So why is it listening so important?
Listening with intention. So it's not just listening, it's literally with intention. So if I practice listening, 2 examples, my kids,
Mm-hmm.
so often I would tell them something and they wouldn't hear me.
Mm-hmm.
I would be like, why did they not hear me? So I had to figure out that I need to sit down and actually go, what did you just hear me say? And they respond to me and I'm like, oh, you actually didn't hear me. And that made me realize that if somebody doesn't listen with intent, focused on what they hear, not anything else that's distracting,
Mm-hmm.
you get way more of the story because you don't just listen to the words, you listen to the energy that comes with the words.
Mm-hmm.
You listen to the whole body, you listen to everything that is said, verbally and non-verbally, all forms of communication. There's literally, I can tell you I love you in probably 100 million ways. But if I don't really believe it, if it doesn't come with the right energy, you can tell. It's like somebody asking you, how are you? I'm good. I by now can tell, no, you're not. Because I'm listening with more. I'm listening to the words, but I'm listening to everything else that comes.
Mm-hmm.
And I call people out and I'm like, no, you're not good.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Yeah. And so for myself, I also need to do the same thing. I need to be true to myself. Somebody asks me, how are you?
Mm-hmm.
I don't say good anymore unless I am good.
Mm-hmm.
But I tell people I'm stressed, I'm tired, I'm frustrated. I had a shitty day. I had an amazing day. Most people don't want to hear it, but I need to be true to myself.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what makes the difference.
I love that. I need to be true to myself. Power of listening. Now, what's something that people, one could say, seem to misunderstand about you?
I found ways to speak my truth very directly. I'm still, no, I need to be careful with my words. I'm currently working on finding a way to deliver it compassionately.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it comes across as arrogant because I'm just speaking what comes. I'm not checking every word that comes out of my mouth. Because if I speak my truth, I don't have to watch for it. But it sometimes comes across a little harsh.
Mm-hmm.
While it is done with the best intentions. So, yeah.
I see.
That's the part of working with me. I always say it's going to be very direct. It's going to be, what I see, what I feel, what I hear.
Mm.
And I'm telling that to people, but that not always lands the right way. Sometimes I had instances where people come like 2 months later. Oh, now I get it. Like, yeah, sorry. I'm gonna work on the delivery part. But I do believe we all have a story to tell.
Mm-hmm.
If we can be authentically us, if we can tell our story truthfully, without a mask, without trying what other people might think, what other people might want to hear, we can all learn from each other.
Oh wow, I'm honestly struggle with this part here. Being authentic. Sometimes I put this like mask to be someone else just to please somebody or someone. So I'm just curious from your where you stand, what suggestion or what piece of advice would you give to people like me?
Just awareness.
Just awareness.
Just awareness, catch yourself. That's the only way it changes. Awareness is the first step to change. I had a mask on for most of my life. I went to school, I could fit in with so many different categories of people because I pretended to be like them. I didn't even know who I am. Because the me somewhere got lost along that way because I wanted to be loved so much. That's what it was. It was that simple. I wanted to be loved. I wanted to be acknowledged. I wanted to be accepted. Because I didn't love myself. I didn't acknowledge myself, and I didn't accept myself.
Mm. Mm.
So I looked for it on the outside. Once I started to accept who I am in a very long journey, and realized that I needed to understand what it means to love oneself unconditionally, what it means to embody that feeling of, I am who I am. There's nobody else like me.
Mm-hmm.
There's not one person outside that could walk in my shoes, because it's just me.
Mm.
I can't walk in your shoes.
No.
That's why I can't tell you what to do.
Yeah.
But I can tell you my story and what happened on my path and that.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have that chance to go, huh, all right, that might actually work for me. That actually makes sense. No, this doesn't work for me, and that's fine. And then you can carve out your own path. And that's what it is. That's why I'm so careful with all the gurus and teachers that are out there that are telling you need to do it this way, then this and this and this is going to happen. Well, that worked for you.
Mm-hmm.
If you would say, hey, I did it this and this way, then I have the choice to go, all right, which parts of that I want to take and I want to integrate.
I learned early on, it's like, it's never focus on what's right or wrong, but what works. What works. Put all your energy and focus on what works rather than what doesn't work.
And you will always change. I mean, change is the only constant in life, right? So who you are today authentically might not be who you are tomorrow authentically, because something happened that changed you. And that's fine. So you don't have to hold on to that hologram of your past and go, but I am really like this. And like, no, you're not. That one shaped you into who you are today.
Yeah.
So there's appreciation, there's acknowledgement for any old version of you. Love perfectly. But there's no judgment. No matter what you did, it still created who you are today. All my mistakes I did in my life that I don't, there's things I'm not proud of, but they still shaped me into who I am today. And who I want to become tomorrow. So it all comes down to living in now. And
also understand that change is the only thing that constant, and embrace the, sometimes I like to hold on to my, one could say, past personality. I don't want to let that go, but one could say the events, it requires me to change, to adapt. But sometimes I feel like I need to still hold on to the past personality.
Why do you want to hold on to that past personality?
Because I think it worked in the past, and that's how I was, and it's one could say comfortable. I was like really comfortable with that image. So
and that's the part of it. You were acknowledged, you were loved, you were, whatever in that moment. So you want to hold on to it. But if you fully embody it, you don't have to hold on to it, because you have that same response every day when you wake up. I love myself. I acknowledge myself. I'm proud of myself. I'm happy with who I am today. New canvas. Let's conquer the world.
Yeah. Before we start this, I really like what you said about be you, because I show you the videos, and and then you said, if you use the soft voice of yours, people will connect. And you say something like that, and I was like, yeah, that's so true, because I like to start with this male voice, like, but what you just said, I was like, yeah, I think I want to embody more of that. So this is like change in the presence. Like, thank you very much, Robin, and I'm going to implement that.
Oh, you're like a tree. You don't need to be a strong man. You already are.
Yeah.
That's kind of the same thing. You already are. You're everything you need to be. Steady, grounded, strong.
Mm.
Oh, you're an amazing human being.
Thank you, Robin. Can you share one personal habit that attributes to your success?
I think everything we already talked about. It's really trying to always be true. You know, yeah, listen to your heart more than your mind. You know, the mind very often can come in and try and keep us safe.
Yeah.
So if I need to go outside of my comfort zone, the mind comes in and says, whoa,
Hang on a minute.
whoa, where are we going? What are we doing? Like,
Analyze
no.
everything.
Let's just stay here. The thing is, sometimes the staying here can be something very, again, limiting. You know, it can be something that has worked for a long time, but it also limits me to a certain persona that I'm not anymore. Because I'm expanding, I'm growing, I'm changing. There's so much that's happening. So for that, I need to step outside of the comfort zone. And then the heart knows. The heart is kind of giving you that push and goes, you're good. Go that way. It's all going to be fine. Whatever fine looks like. You know, fine can be very uncomfortable, but that's where you need to go right now.
Yeah.
And then the mind is like, oh, let's go back. Let's go back into the safe space. And you know, for many people, safe space can be drama. Can actually be something where they like have these voices that like, oh, you know, everything is bad. The world is bad. Life is bad. Everything is hard. All these things. And that is just it. Stepping outside of what is known for, especially if you've been in a cycle for a long time, it takes courage. It takes trust. And that is another big part. If you trust what you do, trust yourself, then you will not call anything you do a mistake. You will call it a learning opportunity. Because you're like, in this moment, that was the best decision I could have made. I made a decision built on the best I knew. Well, it didn't work out. All right, I learned. Let's do it again. Let's do it differently. Let's change.
Yeah. Very insightful. Thank you, Robin. Now, what are you working on right now?
Another version of I Am Enough, which is an online journey for men and women to come together and really change that limiting belief, really transformation. Working a lot on programs also with my wife right now. Like we've been busy for the last 2 years, just constantly with new opportunities, new ideas that are coming out, but they're all based around this. So we're doing mini workshops, which is just like a day or a couple hours, and then we do programs that are like 4 to 8 weeks. And yeah, it's like constantly something. But my next one that I'm going to bring out is I'm Enough. Really,
Amazing.
because that is such a big one to shift that mindset of not being good enough for anything. And realizing I can be enough and use that as an initiating motivational tool, not as something to like, okay, I'm enough. I'm gonna no. I'm enough, and now the world is mine. Let's do something. Rather than this, I'm not good enough. I'm not gonna get this anyway. So kind of that's the idea behind it.
Powerful. Where can people find you?
On Instagram is right now the easiest. My handle is Sacred Rebel. My website, robinseeger.com, is live but not fully functional yet. We're still working on it. I just launched it. But you can send me an email through there. Facebook, Robin Seeger. But yeah, just connect on Instagram is usually the easiest.
Amazing. One last question before we end the podcast. What is the one thing that I can implement today to create change in my life, if you were to give one piece of advice?
Take a breath.
Okay.
Yes, take a breath and
Mhm.
stop for 15-20 seconds somewhere in your day and look around and see what's there. Really, with intention, listen to the noise, listen to what you see, because that's all it is. It's awareness, right? So the more we train on awareness, the more we create. But many people say, how do you start? And it's like, take a breath. Like, I drive somewhere, I just stop and just stand there and just wait. Or I get up early in the morning and I go for a walk into nature, and just same thing. No phone, no distraction, no anything. Just looking around, creating awareness about what's going on. What has changed today? What is different than yesterday? Because then I can apply that to myself. What is different today? What has changed today? What do I need to pay attention to? Right? So it always comes down to that. The more awareness I create, the more intentional pieces I set, it makes a difference. Another one is find a good affirmation. Find something that you can tell yourself every day that you actually believe. Like, for me, what else is possible? So that's a really big thing. But this is because it works for me, because I felt I was limiting myself. For somebody else, it might be something like, this is a good day, this is a new day, this is a new start, this is a blank canvas. There's so many things. I love myself, I'm enough, I'm beautiful, I'm amazing. Like, there's a lot of things that one can say to himself to shift mindsets. Because the same way somebody told us, I'm not good enough, I'm not pretty enough, I'm not tall enough, I'm not strong enough, I'm not thin enough, I'm not whatever enough, I can tell myself the exact opposite and program myself the same way. But I need to believe it.
I need to
And
believe
for
it.
that,
From there.
You need to build it. If you don't believe in yourself and you look in the mirror and you're like, oh my God, you're so amazing, you look incredible, you're gonna laugh. Do it again the next day.
Yeah.
You're gonna laugh. Do the third day, you're gonna cry, because you're like, it's not true. It's not true. Keep going. The first time somebody said to you, you're not good enough, you didn't believe it either. It's the succession, it's that continuous that makes these changes.
Powerful, powerful. Oh, wow. Thank you very much, Robin, for being here, and thank you for sharing with us all this.
Thank you for having me.
Wisdom, and very insightful. Robin, thank you again, man. Really appreciate it.
I appreciate it too. Thank you.